Welcome to the Quarantine Show, keeping you ill-informed of what's going on in and around Sarnia-Lambton. He's got another day left in Facebook jail for an unfortunate typo. Here's Richard Head. Yeah, and a little disappointed. No rallies, no protests. I didn't get nothing. But I will say, though, when trying to type that COVID is a bigger risk, just make sure you're aware of where the N is. Okay? Pro tip. Richard Head, you can call me Dick, and Head this week on the Quarantine Show, good old Uncle Doug Ford, that's what I'm going to call him from now on. He has told us we can expand our social circles. Yes, that's right. We can get up to 10 people now, and physical distancing does not matter within those 10 people. So we know what that means here at the Quarantine Show. That means y'all going to be doing it. So we've got a top 10 list just for you. Yes, that's right. The top 10 sex guidelines during these times of COVID. And the best part was we didn't even actually have to write it. It came from the New York State Governor's office. Yes, that's right. So we'll get to that near the end of the show here. Also coming up locally, a very successful Black Lives Matter rally. We'll take a look. NASCAR has decided that they are going to ban the Confederate flag and defunding the police. Should we do it? Well, hold off on that because we think we found a better alternative. That's all coming up on this edition of the Quarantine Show, and of course we'll have some sports as well. We start off though with the World Health Organization. Yes, that's right. They have faced criticism from many countries, especially the U.S., Japan, and Taiwan for their, I guess we can call it, mishandling of the COVID-19 pandemic. Of course, they're accused of making very late and contradictory statements as well. Of course, you all remember that they started off by telling us no human-to-human contact. A week later, they doubled down and said, nope, it's only animals to humans. And then, of course, we found out that that was absolutely incorrect. And, I can recall on January 23rd, there were 830 cases in China, 600 worldwide, and the World Health Organization just really didn't want to say that it was a public health emergency yet. They said that it was too early to call it. A week later, they called it. So there you go. That was the difference of 7 days there. By March 11th, they were finally able to call it a global pandemic, but they did say a day later that it is a controllable pandemic. Really? By April 1st, which is kind of ironic, the WHO conceded that the world had never faced such a pandemic in its time, and were deeply worried about how fast it was spreading. So much for controlling that pandemic. More recently, though, a top World Health Organization official had to clarify on Tuesday that scientists have not yet determined how asymptomatic patients can or cannot spread the COVID virus. But that was just a day after stating that asymptomatic patients, they don't spread the COVID, and it's rare. So, really, we're not entirely sure what's going on within the World Health Organization, but don't worry, we need to get you answers. So we reached out to the World Health Organization to ask if anybody knows what's going on.
This is crazy. I don't know about
All right. That's kind of what we thought, though, right? Anyway, moving on. In the wake of the George Floyd and the BLM protests, the idea of defunding or disbanding the police has become a hot topic as of late. The idea may seem new, really isn't, though. It was started to pop up in around the 2014 time, but since the police killings of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and really many others as well, the idea has gained some serious traction. And in fact, the Minneapolis City Council voted in favor of disbanding their police altogether. Now, those in favor believe that we would get better results by defunding large city police budgets and refunneling that money into bettering the communities, especially those that are marginalized, and many, of course, the detractors. They say that this could lead to a rise in crime and leave officers unsafe on the job. However, while everybody argues about these things, we think we found the answer.
You, Anita. New tonight, Allie's Donuts causing a social media firestorm after saying it will no longer offer police and military discounts until action is taken to solve issues of racism and injustice.
So there you go. Allie's Donuts gets it. They completely get it. Just like a parent disciplining its child, you need to hit them where it hurts. Okay? On Monday, the only full-time African-American driver in the NASCAR Cup Series, Bubba Wallace, had called for the auto racing body to ban the Confederate flag on the premises and use within NASCAR events. And 2 days later, his dream came true. Yes, that's right. NASCAR released a statement on its website just hours ahead of its Wednesday night race back in Martinsville, Virginia. The statement read, "The presence of the Confederate flag at NASCAR events runs contrary to our commitment to providing a welcoming and inclusive environment for all of our fans, our competitors, and our industry." Upon hearing the news, NASCAR driver Ray Cicerelli announced on Facebook that he's waving the white flag. He is quitting. Yes, that's right. Now, admittedly, we had to Google Mr. Cicerelli. Had no idea who the hell he was. Turns out, Mr. Cicerelli is a part-time driver in the Truck Series. He's raced 18 races, and just like the Confederate Army, he's won 0 of them. There you go. Maybe he's just upset. Can't continue that long-standing tradition of losing. But sources close to the show have said, though, that NASCAR does plan to keep at least one Confederate flag on the premises. Local news was perusing the Sarnia Journal the other day, and Phil Egan, editor-in-chief at the Sarnia Historical Society, had a great article. Apparently, Sarnia was the scene of Canada's first kidnapping. Yes, that's right. London beer baron John Labatt, of all guys, had a vacation home here in Brights Grove, and he was there with his family and abducted August 14th, 1934. We reached out to Mayor Mike Bradley and asked how he handled this situation in his early days as mayor. Oddly, no response. Just completely ignored it. Not really sure what's going on, but we assume he handled it well. That's what we'll go with. Also, this past weekend, Sarnia had a successful and very peaceful Black Lives Matter rally in front of City Hall, and while we at the Shit Show were very happy and moved at the large show of diverse support for the Black Lives Matter, we do have to admit we were slightly disappointed in the lack of rioting, as we had it all planned out. We were going to create the Mitten Village Autonomous Zone, but when nobody rioted, we realized we looked pretty silly. So that's almost going to do it. We do have to check in. It seems that there is some sort of lumberjack competition going on, so we're going to head to Pierre. I have no idea what that name is, so we're just gonna shoot it over to Pierre down at the lumberjack contest.
Thank you, Dick. This is Pierre. We're here following the lumberjack finals. It's Pierre Papalapalapalapalap. And we're here at the lumberjack finals, so you bear with us. There's machinery going all over. They're probably loggers. And stay tuned to watch the lumberjack finals. Ow. 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 Anyway, Dick, looks like they're trying hard doing the lumberjacking. So back to you in the studio, Dick. This is Pierre Papalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalapalap from Lumberjacksonville.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, but, we do have some tips because we know that with social circles expanding and physical distancing rules being pretty much eliminated within those circles, we know what's going to happen here. So we found the New York State Governor's Office was offering some guidelines for doing it during COVID. Number 10, the is most obvious one, condoms, right? Condoms or dental dams can reduce contact with saliva, semen, or feces during oral and anal sex. Yes, it does turn out that the COVID can be in your poop, so careful of that. Number 9, limit the size of your guest list. Don't be calling don't have your whole 10 people come over and do it, because you got to limit that, right? Go with a consistent sex partner as well. Okay, that's number 8. So I guess technically that means here in Sarnia, those of you on AshleyMadison.com, I guess you have permission to continue your adultery. Kissing, that's number 6 here. You can't be doing any kissing apparently. That could pass it, or at least avoid kissing those outside of your circle. Number 6, pick a larger or more open and well-ventilated space if you don't plan on limiting that guest list. So, if you do have all 10 over, you know what I mean? Might want to do it in the backyard. Just make sure the neighbors can't see. Number 5, for the first time ever, they are suggesting wearing a mask during sex. So, yes, that's right. You can ask your significant other to cover their face, and it is no longer offensive. That is good. Number 4, they want you to bring some alcohol-based hand sanitizer, maybe some drinks too that could potentially work out as well. Just don't use the sanitizer as lube. It's a bad idea. Number 3, they really want to just tell you not to do it right now during the COVID, especially if it's not somebody you know. But if you got to do something, they suggest masturbating together. Yes, that's right. The government wants you to, do some self-love with someone else at the same time. Number 2, this is actually my favorite one. The actual recommendation read, make it a little kinky, be creative with sexual positions and physical barriers like walls that allow sexual contact while preventing close face-to-face contact. If only there was a term that would describe the glory of a hole in the wall. Could be onto something there. The number 1 tip, though, offered by the New York State guidelines for sex: don't be eating ass.
Just brushing.
I ate ass.
You ate what?
I ate ass.
I'm not wearing any pants.